Hey everyone, it's Heather and I'm back. You may have watched my recent video on the process of how I gather everything for a mini album, and this is the album that I showed in that video, but now I want to share with you all of the pages. So it's a really thick album and it might take a little while, but I'll try to go through it pretty fast without explaining much of the actual content of the pictures and more so the technique of what I did. So on these letters here, it's kind of like a leather looking finish, and the way that I got that was first I painted the chipboard letters black, and then I added some loose black glitter, and then I put a layer of clear crackle paint over top of that. And it's a really neat texture, and it kind of mimics the leather here that's behind it. And the rest of this is pretty simple. I put some gesso on the pattern paper and cut out a couple things from the design paper that I had. So first, here's a picture of Andrew and I. There's a bunch of these vintage buttons that I got from my grandma, so I couldn't tell you where to get those, but I would say check maybe a fabric store. And the washi tape that I used throughout is basically the same. And all these pictures, or the paper, was cut mainly from the DCWV paper line. I forget what it's called, but I go over most of the supplies anyway in my previous video, so if you want, check that out. So here I gessoed this page, stamped this. This is a die cut. I like doing this because it's a nice way to add more pictures without taking up more space. And then in this pocket, I did kind of a, what do you call it? What is the word? Well, anyway, it's a folded up thing with lots of real estate for pictures and journaling. There's another picture. I used some of these bingo tiles from the bead section at Michael's. There's a little half page. More washi. This is cut using the Tim Holtz die. And this one's actually a pocket. And so this is a die cut from the collection too. There's a couple pictures. More washi tape, more gesso, and I sprayed, all the sprays are from Lindy's Stamp Gang. Just a little tag I made. I used the round tab punch from Stampin' Up, and I really like stapling on the ribbon. I added this little tie here around this brad that says Family Vacation, and that opens up for more journaling and pictures. This is one of the Tim Holtz glassine bags, and it's really hard to attach anything to this because of the material. It's hard to use any kind of tape, so I used some washi tape, but it's not sticking very well, and I did have to end up stapling the picture on because my adhesive wasn't holding. There's another little insert. There's some pretty funny pictures in here, so don't mind that. Same thing on the back, I stapled that picture on. I wrapped this tag around the edge, which I thought was kind of cool. Another vintage button. This page has 3 pictures and I only matted the one in the middle. And there's another insert that opens up like this. And I used lots of pictures in here, and I just used washi tape to attach in this journaling card that I stamped. And another picture on the back. I cut this out from some paper. All these stickers are October Afternoon. I mostly used those. And this was a die cut from the collection. A little bicycle stamped there. I actually made this one into a pocket, and so there's a picture on each side of that. some journaling on the back. If you want to write on black, then the silver pen is a good idea. I know they make white ones too, but I just have the silver. More gesso and spray. This is a neat idea if you have tons of pictures. I just taped each one down so that they can lift, and then you can journal on the back side too. And it's kind of like a waterfall. And then there's more pictures on the back. Another picture there. Vintage button, die cut. Some stickers and washi. I liked doing that, adding two pictures right next to each other and using the washi tape to define the edge of them. I really like that picture. Another domino, another half page with a picture on both sides, another pocket page. I don't know if you can see this, but on each of these pocket pages I used my round tab punch to punch out that circle, half circle almost, and you could also use your circle punch for that. It's another tag. It opens. I had tons and tons of pictures to put in here, so I had to make it very interactive and find ways to get them all in. This is some canvasy, I don't know, whatever type from Seven Gypsies. I ripped it in half so it was actually twice this wide. Up here I used a little paper clip and a bicycle brad. Same thing here, use the washi to divide the pictures. Another glassine bag where I stapled on the photo. Insert with some pictures. I like this glossy paper, it's very cool, but you can't journal on that, so that's the only downside. Taped on another picture. More tape cut out from design paper. Another tag with pictures and journaling. Tried to keep the inserts pretty simple, just for speed. This one I like to do this because I actually forgot to bring my brads on a crop I went to, so instead I just used the tape. Instead of making it swivel, it just flips open like that. This is a goofy chipboard piece, and I just put some craft paper on the back. Sorry, that came out bad. And I used some green eyelets. Disney, that's the first sighting of the castle. In the daytime, that is. I loved these little Mickey Mouse gem things. They came in a pack like that, and I thought it was really cute because there was black, red, and like white ones, so the white ones made me think of diamonds, and of course I got engaged on this trip, so I thought it was really appropriate. There's a chipboard balloon. That's from Winnie the Pooh chipboard pieces. Another button. Insert. These are the Polaroid pieces, but the pictures overlap, so it doesn't really look like a Polaroid, but that's okay. Another flap open with the tape, and that also gives room for journaling on the inside here. Cut this out. Half page. This was a piece from a Cars piece or set thing that I had with a bunch of other die cuts in it. Stamped that. Lots of gesso here. If you gesso over the shiny part of the paper, it makes it a little easier to write on, but I still wouldn't suggest it because it might smear. Another waterfall one like that, where they all have journaling on the back like that. And I just wanted to show the Mickey Mouse paper on that side, so I didn't put pictures there. Here, another domino. I don't know if you've been noticing, but I like to ruffle up the washi tape like that. So sometimes I put a ruffle on the bottom and then put a straight piece on top, or I just do straight, or I do two ruffles, but yeah, it looks really cool. And this is some Lindy Stamp Gang spray, really shimmery. I love that. There's the Tower of Terror. Cars. There's one of the bling diamondy things that I was talking about, and inserted this stamped journaling card with a little bumblebee from Winnie the Pooh collection. I had pre-made this so it had this stamped on the back, and I thought that was a nice surprise. I really like that stamp. Another insert. For this one, I actually put eyelets in it and then tied the eyelets, so I think that's really cute. This one flips open like this for more pictures. And on the back here, I used like a button from an old piece of clothing I had, Jacob Jr. I don't think that's even still around, with a paper flower. And I think it's really important to write the date on everything, so I kind of just have the date for everything. Another Polaroid pocket. This one I did that with the eyelet, so this is in like a loop on either side. I thought that was really cute. This side is kind of ugly, but I didn't really worry too much about that. And this is fairly easy to flip through despite how thick it is, because I bound it using that, it's black cotton cord. You can buy it at Michael's, and it worked out pretty well. I just wove it through. Another vintage button. I think that one's really cute. Pocket. So there, I did the stapling thing again. That one opens up, and I taped in this old library card, so I thought that was cute. Another black bling, and there's some ruffled tape there. Another half page. This was just a die cut, so it's very thin, but I stamped some journaling lines on the back and wrote there. Also some tape. Here's more of the card die cuts I was trying to talk about, where this 95 came from, and they have a really neat texture on them. It's kind of like almost rubbery feeling. It's really cool. And that was the scene from the Cars ride, and it looks exactly like the movie, so we were pretty impressed. These are more cards die cuts, and they are printed double-sided, so I didn't do anything to these. They're just really cute, I thought. And the Monsters, Inc. ride. It was pouring rain that day, so I just thought this was a really neat photo because you can see the reflection of everything. Another chipboard balloon, a half page, and I love that picture too. I'm trying not to talk about the pictures, but there's just some that are so awesome. This is when we got engaged, so there is the bling I was talking about that looks like a diamond. This was just like moments before we got engaged. And this was a snail we saw the next morning, and I thought it was really cute and must be a good sign, I'm sure. And there's another really cute button from my grandma. It's got like roses on it, kind of. I think that's what it is. It's definitely some kind of flower. And in that pocket, I made this fold out, and this little insert thing is our engagement story, like everything we did that day, so I just typed it on the computer instead of writing in my travel journal, because I thought that would be easier. So there's some really precious pictures that I love. We're almost done here, nearing the end. Okay, and oh, that sticker is falling off. Oh dear. There's my ring. I love it. I used this paper clip here to look like it's holding the picture, and I like that it kind of goes around the hole. This is on the way to Universal Studios. I glued down some sequins here because I just thought it needed something else. And there's some more tape up there. I love how this looks, just with the resist here, and I love the picture with that tail. And there's some pictures at Universal. Oh, there's a picture on the back. And here's another swivel thing. So obviously I didn't do that at the crop because I got my brads back. And so I added some tape and a little die cut here, and that's some spray. And I did some journaling on the side. And another glassine bag. And just a single picture on the Polaroid and some journaling on the back. And the Grinch tree. There's another domino. This is a die cut from the collection. Another tag in here. Some pictures. Okay, this is getting really long. I'm almost done. I added some eyelets here, just above the title. I thought that was cute. Another card. This one flips open with the tape, like that. I sprayed and used some gesso on that. Okay, a flower with some lace. And this was summarizes the 2-day trip home, so just 2 pictures on the very last page. That's going through Las Vegas, and I love these cameras from that paper. And that is my mini album. So on the back, it looks the same as the cover. I did a lot of stamping, some spraying, some gesso, some ink, and the spine looks like this. I just kind of wove through all the holes twice and then tied a bow and tied some ribbon to it, and there's a little garment pin with a couple charms. And so yes, I'm giving this to Andrew today, and I hope he really likes it. And so yeah, sorry this got long, and thank you everyone so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later.